Welcome to the Lightworker podcast. I am your host, Natalie Grant. I am a lightworker, a meditation facilitator, Reiki master, and a health and wellness enthusiast who thrives on helping people. Connection is my superpower, and I just love bringing people to a space where transformation can occur. Are you looking for information on being a lightworker? Are you a lightworker and just love collecting knowledge from other lightworkers? Then this is exactly where you need to be right now. Spirit has brought you here for a reason, and my hope is that this podcast will offer some new information and insights that will help you on your journey. I am here to help you connect and grow on your true path as a lightworker. An episode with Robyn Ellis, and the content in this next series is Thriving with MS. Robyn's story is just so inspiring, and I am really excited to share it with you.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Nat. All right. You got to get over the goofy awkwardness to begin with. That's why I just start off like this rather than doing any big intros. Mm-hmm. I might just turn this on as well, because this is a very clever little device. This does the audio, so then we can get a summary of the...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a feeling that maybe we'll end up doing a session on live here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, quite possible.
Interesting.
Yeah, depends on what we talk about, I suppose.
Okay, all right then. So, here is Robyn Ellis, Inspired Robyn,
yes,
who has been on a spiritual journey now for quite a while.
Yes,
it's been a few years since we've known each other.
Yeah, 2018 is when I first started learning from you.
Really?
But I met you in 2017.
We did.
And I sat on the couch for a while, like as in at home, before I actually decided to come along and do Reiki level 1.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, I'm a slow burn.
Well, but how time flies. We're 2025 now.
Yeah, I've been living here for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
After moving from Melbourne. So.
We met at a women's business networking thing. We did too. Yeah, okay.
Exchanged cards, and I kept it probably close to a year before I reached out and came to meditation, and then decided to do Reiki.
Because that was back when I was doing meditation group at the old post office in Budrum.
Yeah,
right. That's just flown. Like, I can't believe how much has changed globally since then. Right? Yeah. So I thought it would be interesting to have a conversation with you about your healing journey, because it's quite an interesting one, really. And you've come from kind of the depths of despair and been able to build a toolbox that helps you manage and listen to your body and be able to support it in ways that you didn't even know were possible. Yeah. So, yes, that being said, do you want to tell us what was it that prompted your spiritual awakening? Where did it start?
I think I've always had it.
Okay.
But I didn't acknowledge it, really.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was first going through, I was diagnosed with MS in 2007, just after I got married.
So just after you got married, you got diagnosed with MS?
Yeah. Right. But I'd had a lot of instances where I'd had health issues going on leading up to that, like a lot of anxiety attacks, bowel issues, bladder issues, meltdowns at work. Yeah, right, that kind of thing. So leading up to that, before then, and I'd had tests done on my arm for carpal tunnel, and was told rheumatoid arthritis possibly. So there was a lot of signs along the road that didn't diagnose me, but makes sense looking back. that I had something going on. But
it's weird how we do learn retrospectively. When you're in it, we're mystified by whatever it is that's going on for us.
Yeah. And I'd had Reiki sessions before. Like, I remember in 1998, I took a road trip to Canberra to visit my friend and my uncles on the south coast of New South Wales. And she took me to a Reiki therapist. But I didn't really, like, I was lying on the table and they had their hands on my back. She had her hands on my back. And I was like, what is this? I didn't really feel anything. I was probably doing something, but, I didn't feel anything then. Yeah.
It's a weird thing because so you actually had a Reiki session from somebody before you decided to learn.
Yeah.
I didn't even know really what Reiki was before I went off and learned it.
Yeah.
And then I had a Reiki session. So what was that like, going to somebody and even being told, oh, it's Reiki? What was your thoughts?
What is this? Like, is it doing anything? Like, it felt comforting and nice. Like, this was with a friend that had a lot of trauma in her life, and I used to go like to counselling sessions with her growing up, and hanging out with her, doing different things, and yeah, I don't know. She just obviously had been introduced to somebody that did it, and I don't know. I was just in an experimental phase. I'd gone through a breakup with my first long-time boyfriend at the time. And I was like flying free, music blaring in the car on my own brand new car and hitting the road. And I just had healing to do, I think. And that was probably what my friend sensed. And she took me to this person. Yeah, could do something. Even though it didn't really feel like anything to me. It wasn't until a little while after being diagnosed with MS, having my daughter, she was still quite small, probably would have been 1 at the time maybe. I think it was when she was around. I went to a massage therapist for a relaxation massage, and it was really good. And then she was like, would you like some Reiki after it? And go, sure, why not? And that was like when I was like, whoa, that was bliss. It was better than the massage.
Wow, so completely different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opposite to I felt it.
The first time this second time, you actually really felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just relaxed me, and it lifted so much off me that I'd had going on that was causing me tension, because I was having a relaxation massage.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I used to do relaxation massages for people and incorporate Reiki with the sessions, because back when I first learned Reiki, it was very weird. So I would just say I do Reiki massage, and people would be like, yeah, cool, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I think some people thought I was going to get a rake out and rake their back.
Quite possible.
But really what it is an intuitive massage. It's a massage where you connect in with, it's like your fingertips have eyeballs, and you can actually sense and feel where emotion is kind of trapped in people's physical body.
Yeah.
And for some people, an actual physical touch really helps to release those emotions.
Yeah.
Other people don't want to be touched, so that's why they come for a Reiki session, because the same can be achieved without actually contacting a person with physical touch. So when you were diagnosed with MS, what was that like? Because, I mean, give us a rundown first of all. What is MS, and then what was it like to be diagnosed with that?
Well, it can be different for a lot of us, the MS. But for me, what were my diagnosing symptoms was at the time I was working at a fitness club, and I'd been running on a treadmill that morning.
Yep.
But I'd also been having a lot of depression and anxiety in my work, and fatigue. And then that night I was sitting in bed reading a book, and I was like, I've got pins and needles in my foot. And I'm standing up, on the side of the bed, bouncing up and down. You know how when you try to wake your foot up?
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't wake up.
Mm.
And it started to stress me out. I was a bit worried what the hell's going on. So the next morning I'm in tears on the phone calling the doctor. Can I get an appointment? I took a sickie from work.
Yep.
It was scary because I was really tired and like I couldn't feel my legs properly from the waist down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it wasn't like turning back on.
Yep.
So he said,
were you able to walk?
Yeah, I was able to walk.
Yep.
So I haven't had, touch wood, anything like that, like where I wasn't able to walk, like a lot of people have optic neuritis where their sight goes.
Yeah, right.
I haven't had that, but I've had like the carpal tunnel, I've had bladder control issues, I've had bowel issues, I've had cognitive, which is probably it's for me, my MS is very sensory, so I have like the pins and needles. It comes and goes. The pins and needles and sensory issues where I can't feel. Like I had when I had my daughter when she was a baby, you know, when you're checking bottles and like temperature and barbs and all that kind of thing. Like I couldn't trust my own judgment because it's like I've got asbestos hands, as we used to call it in flight attending, because I did flight attending back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Where you could touch the oven and not burn your fingers because they were so used to it, you know.
Yep.
But that's very much like my main symptoms, and also like a bit of I had a lot of testing done in the early years at the MS Australia group in Melbourne.
Yep.
And they did like cognitive tests and psychological tests and that on me to see how my brain was thinking.
Yeah.
And they gave me a lot of like feedback on my organisation skills. And I do notice that when I can get overwhelmed quite easily because it's a bit harder for me sometimes to organise logically. Stuff. So and I think that from what I've learnt over the years, looking at my MRIs that I've had and seeing where the lesions were on my brain and spine, most of my lesions are on the left hand side, which is your logical brain.
Yep.
So that makes, and my mum had a brain tumour or calcification, pretty big one on her left side of her brain. And she's had that sort of issue since she had that taken out. So, yeah.
So what causes the lesions? Were you given any guidance as to that?
It's pretty much like your body's attacked. Like I feel like it's a viral thing from what all the stuff that I've done, like listening to medical media and just tuning into stuff. It's like the body's attacking itself, like it's attacking the myelin sheath, which is like the outside cord on your nerves.
Yep.
And it sends mixed signals because it's damaged. It's like if you say you've got a electrical cable and it's been broken.
Yep.
Like cut into, and it's not properly working. Like maybe a charger for your phone as an example, because that's something that often happens. It's kind of like the charger in my body is like damaged in different spots. It does not fire
the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So when you learned the Reiki, when you came to the class, what was your intention? Why were you wanting to learn it?
A lot of it, I think I felt like self-healing for me, an awareness. Just I was drawn to it, a bit like the moth to the flame type thing. Yeah, drawn to energy.
Yeah, pretty common.
Yeah, and I have a lot of people come to me with that, like when they come for healing sessions. It's kind of like they just felt like they needed to come.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm here really, but it seems like your name pops up everywhere and I need to see you.
Yeah. And so that was probably mostly it. But I also felt like, because I was doing a lot of personal development in the years that I moved up here to Queensland.
Yeah.
Working on my mindset and how I think about things. And I'd done a lot of like diet alterations. I learned overcoming MS lifestyle, which is like whole food, plant-based diet, to help combat naturally.
Yeah. So when you started that, how did that like translate for the symptoms when you were changed the way you ate?
I had tried a few different things. I'd gone down the path where I'd had my jugular veins opened.
Yep.
With balloon venoplasty, and then when that didn't work for the 5th time, over the course of probably about 3 or 4 years, I realised that I needed to do something different.
Yeah.
So I'd just been doing transformation challenges for the past 3 years or so of that, and lost a lot of weight. And been doing Michelle Bridges' kind of diet. And then once I'd finished that and the venoplasty didn't work again, I was like, oh, quit sugar was a bit of a trend at the time.
Yep.
So I did the quit sugar, which had me eating a lot more eggs and butter and things like that, bacon and eggs for breakfast and protein.
Yeah.
But I wasn't noticing a lot of change with no sugar.
Yeah, okay.
So then through the personal development business, I've been talking to a lot of people with MS who were inquiring about what I was doing.
Yeah. And
one person suggested the Overcoming MS lifestyle, trying that. And so I went to the retreat, which happened to be happening literally, I think it was 6 weeks from that conversation with this person. I rang up and they had a spot left. So I'm like, I'm there. I'm there. And so I was at the Yarra Valley and did that. And I'd gotten given the book when I was first diagnosed, but I couldn't read it. I had to put it in the top drawer. It lived there for 8 years.
Yeah, wow.
It was too much for me to think about. I did meditation, I did Qigong. I started, I'd go to Reiki, go to chiropractors, go to myotherapists, go to osteopaths, you name it. I was doing all that.
So you were on that path of getting other people to do it for you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is really, really common, right? We don't think that we're worthy enough or capable enough to be able to be in charge of our own bodies.
Exactly.
You know, we're not taught that how to look after them, really.
Yep.
You know, which is unfortunate. So that was the path that you went on. You went on just getting other people to do it for a little while. Then you thought, well, I'll go and learn Reiki.
Yeah, well, at the Overcoming MS thing, I got to see a lot about other people's stories, got to see a lot of different therapies under the one roof over the course of a week. You know, you're isolated there.
So what did that retreat look like? Give us the rundown. What is it like when you go to an Overcoming MS retreat?
It was a lot of, a bit like going to meditation circle.
Oh, really?
Sitting around in circle,
so
sharing, and it was like different topics on different days, like talking about what medications you've done so far, what your journey's been like with that, how you were diagnosed, for example, or things that you've done to help yourself.
Yeah, amazing.
And
then you're in a room full of the same
people wanting to do the same, learn the same stuff. Or there were some people that were resistant, people that had been dragged there by loved ones or whatever.
Yeah,
and obviously they had their own agendas.
Yep.
But majority of the people, some had been there before and they were coming to refresh, and just because they got so much out of it last time and it helped them get reset.
Yeah.
It was very healing in the respect
and then
of
it would have helped you not feel so alone, because I mean when people are on any kind of healing journey, you can feel super isolated and feel like the leper in the room.
Yeah.
And there's no one else that knows what you're going through. So to be able to be in a space where there were other people, that must have been a really interesting experience.
Yes, it was. Yeah. And we'd go out, we'd meditate every morning and every evening together.
Yeah.
And they took us through different styles of meditation, which was really cool. I even brought a harp in one night.
One of our crew is learning how to play the harp.
It's so
shout out to Janika Galloway. Hurry up, because we all want to come and be in your presence when you're playing the harp.
Yeah, I've done yin yoga with like a clarinet playing, but I think the harp is the ultimate, because you could feel it through the floor.
Oh, really? Yeah, because
the resonance of it.
So that frequency must have really helped your physical.
Yes.
And probably you didn't know about frequency back then either.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, right.
You now I'm like a huge
floated out of there.
Like I love like sound bubbles, and I've got my own set now, and I play them all the time. And myself.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, mine are actually out visiting at the moment. Eve borrowed them, so they're coming back tonight. So you were in the groups, you were sharing.
Yeah, we did laughter
you were
therapy.
doing different therapies.
Yeah.
Like laughter therapy.
Like we had a clown to come.
Yeah.
By Patch Adams' clown doctor. He
Yeah.
actually worked with Patch Adams.
Oh, awesome.
It was really cool. And like he got dressed up as a clown. He put clown noses on all of us.
Yeah.
And we all just laughed our heads off. It was just
raising frequency.
Yeah.
So were the people facilitating that, were they aware of energetics, do you think?
I think so. Because it was at the Gawler Institute, which at the time was quite renowned for cancer treatment. So that was like a place that people would go to down in Victoria in the Yarra Valley, where they would go and drink juices and smoothies all day and meditate and do healing stuff for their body and learn how to, fight cancer and conquer it. So that, and then occasionally they'd bring in the MS retreat. Yeah. But the funny thing is, I look at a lot of stuff now. Like I was watching Food Revolution, this channel this week. Interesting, we're talking about this, and like just thinking about all of the different things that I've tapped into: Food Matters, Food Revolution, Forks Over Knives, all that kind of stuff, and how it all intertwines. And it's like, well, this guy George Jelinek, when he just wrote the books for overcoming MS, he might have like been into that stuff. And so he's made his own version of it for the MS people. Yeah. And it just felt like looking back on, I can see all the different like links to the stuff.
Because you end up, one of the things I observe with people that are living with their ailments, and probably let's call it thriving with their ailment, is the one commonality to that is people that do their own research and have an understanding that their body is not the same as someone else's body.
Yeah.
And you probably would have discovered that in the share circle with all those MS people. Everyone has a different kind of body, different kind of story, different medications they need, different, therapies that
different
work
levels
for them.
of disability and ability.
Yeah, right. And realizing that we can't just bundle everybody into one little slot, but it is important to do your own research.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you about, so you outsourcing having other people do things for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So what was that experience like? Like when you would go to have different therapies, different treatments, which ones worked for you?
Osteopathy, like going to osteopath was really helpful for me with I have like glutes that don't talk and things like that going on, tight hammies.
Yep.
And that kind of thing. And I was doing a lot of yoga thanks to the personal development. I'd been at the gym, done the transformations, and then I'd had a trainer that was very Pilates yoga focused. We also did weights and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like there's something in this yoga, and it was the mindfulness and the connection to your body and understanding what your body's feeling that really hooked me. And I mean, it's interesting. I became a yoga teacher last year, but I haven't really taught any, and I haven't really done much yoga since. But I know the benefits of it and how it will help me to get back on the mat and get stretching again and do it. Like I'll just roll it out on my deck and do my own yin type thing. Yeah. So, and because it's not outsourcing to somebody else. It's connecting. It gives you that time to get connected with your breath and stretching out your body and feeling what's going on there. And like bringing the Reiki in with that as well. It's like,
it's turning your ears inward.
Yeah.
Listening to what's happening for you, because we spend so much time out there outsourcing in other people's energy and not doing it intentionally. It's just how we've all been taught. And then not actually carving out any time where you actually can go in.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why we're all run down.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Exactly.
So half of us don't get enough sleep.
I mean, I worked at a gym when I got diagnosed. And I was like,
did you really?
Yeah, I was working at a gym, and then it was like, you need to do more yoga and Pilates. You won't be running up and down the stairs anymore, carrying weights over your head and kickboxing. And because I was doing all that personal training stuff where you'd like you'd be kicking the, kicking the, what's that thing? Yeah,
the bag,
and all that kind of stuff, punching into gloves and you name it.
Yeah,
running up and down the stairs with weights over your head. Yeah, all that hard duty stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And then your body's just saying to you, Robyn, please, I need gentle.
Yeah.
Take me to the osteo rather than let me do yoga.
Yeah. Do some
Please stop punishing me.
Yeah.
Did it feel like that? Did it feel like that was the
message?
But
it felt like that, but it also felt like grief. Like I had a good year of grief.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So what happened? So you've been diagnosed. You've done your things, but you needed to deal with the emotional stuff. Yeah. So what was your process there?
I think I was in the bubble that a lot probably go into when they're diagnosed with something like MS.
What's the bubble?
How do
Tell
I
us what
slow
that
it?
is.
How do I slow it down? How do I stop it getting worse? I've just got married. I'm 32.
So you were listening to the opponent in your brain,
and I'm watching all the stuff. I'm going down Google, Doctor Google.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to
seeing the worst of the worst.
Going to support groups, people that like a mum that I grew up with, like her kids went to school with me. She had MS from when I was in primary school, and she was running the local MS support group. And I'm in there and I'm listening to some have walking frames, some are still trying to get diagnosed. My head is spinning as I talk about this. They're talking about happy pills and antidepressants, which I've been on and off over the years leading up. And when I was first diagnosed, I needed them.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I needed them because that's what they were saying. I was watching the DVDs that MS was sending out of people's journeys and what they go through and how they adjust their life. And I was going to mini kind of overcoming MS retreats for the weekend, where you go just for the day and they take you through the different exercises and all that. It wasn't sinking in.
Okay.
And so I was going down the path of learning to inject, having my 20-minute routine every morning where I poke a needle into my tummy or my thigh, when I didn't like the thigh, or my arm, or my butt, and sit with an ice pack for 20 minutes. And it was a spiral downward. I would try and go to Victoria Markets as an example, because I lived in Melbourne, and the sounds and the noise and all the people, it was kind of like, I feel like that's what you have when you're grieving, loss of what you thought life was.
Yeah.
And all you can hear is like sounds, and you're just spinning out and you can't focus. And I was on the phone a lot to MS helpline, crying.
Yeah.
Black Dog was very, very much in my world.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a lot of
dark
thoughts. I'd had them before I was diagnosed, interestingly, but was like quadrupled now.
Yeah. Do you think maybe this could have been a catalyst to helping you see the opponent that had always been there in you?
Yeah.
But because life is so distracting, shiny object here, shiny object there, you don't go in, so you don't know the negative chitty chatter that's going on in your head.
Yeah.
You don't know that you're agreeing to things that potentially are life alienating instead of life supporting, and then you get thrown into this downward spiral, which is on a frequency level. When we talk about energy now, we know that when our frequency drops, it gets loud in your head, which the emotion can be grief and hopelessness and shame and those really low frequencies. But coupled with those frequencies is head chatter, and the darkest kind.
Yeah. Despite that, I did an 8-week meditation course.
Yeah, okay.
And then I went to I knew natural therapies was probably the way to go somewhere in my brain and energy. And I went to this brand new, because I was in Werribee, that's where I lived at the time.
Yep.
And there was a brand new like wellness centre opened up, and they did like acupuncture and that, and they had this traditional Qigong lady there, and I started learning Qigong.
Yeah.
And that's one night, like I remember having one experience. I had a healing session with her. See, I was doing stuff. Outsourcing, obviously, but then I was like doing the journey. I was doing like the breath in one of the classes one night, and I honestly, it was like I touched Jesus at the time. It was like I went into this place of just whoa, it was golden. And then I was getting all these snippets of signs.
Yeah. This is a path, and this is where I need to go, and this is where I'm needing to.
And at the time, I had a friend that was going through a cancer journey, which took her life in the end. And so I got her to come along and do the same, like the Qigong and all that. She was fighting her own battles. Yeah. So I had that also in the background. Yeah. And we decided after probably, it was coming on to 2 years, since I was diagnosed, we decided to go on a 10-week trip around the world, me and my husband. And we went to USA because we'd both lived there and had friends and stuff to see. And
Amazing.
And then Germany, he had a friend. And then we went to South Africa, which is where he's from.
Yeah.
And it was like 10 weeks of just unplugging. And it just led me to a new place, both of us.
New mindset.
It's like a reset.
It's interesting that you had to go on a world tour and visit places that you had lived, because this is something I'm watching people do. They're visiting these places. It's almost like they're re-establishing a connection to the earth energy lines.
Yeah, I hadn't actually lived there, but I'd had a sister that was an American exchange student with us. She lived in Virginia, so we visited her. And I didn't know at the time it would be the last time I'd ever see her.
Yeah, wow.
But she's no longer with us either.
Yeah.
But it was just, wow.
Yeah.
And another friend that Craig lived in North Carolina, or South Carolina, he just recently passed away as well. We didn't know that was going to be the last time we were going to see him either.
No. Yeah.
But South Africa, I've been there 3 times now. That was like probably the highlight of it, because I'd not been there before. And just sitting in Kruger Park, or even at my sister-in-law's place. And it was New Year's, and it was hot, steaming hot. And at the time I had very heat intolerance from the MS.
Yeah, yeah.
But we had all these cooling vests and neckties and you name it. But just the thunderstorms and the rains, the African rains, it was just very cathartic, I would have to say. Like it had us sitting and contemplating the next phase of our journey.
Yeah.
That's when we decided to have family, and having our daughter sort of inspired me to do other things with my healing journey that led me eventually here.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you went on the journey. Was it difficult with MS to have a baby? Like, is that something that I can even ask you?
Well, the trip that we had, 10 weeks, I had to get 10 weeks of daily injections. Can you imagine how many? Like, I'd have a little Billabong cooler bag.
I can't imagine.
The worst airport, like with syringes in it,
Yeah.
was New York. Like, they were really strict with me, and we'd had it padlocked and, cable tied so that, no one's going to break into it. It's got ice packs in there and stuff because it has to be cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I went off that medication and the antidepressants to get pregnant because I did not want to have any chemicals.
Yeah, for
Bob. So,
yeah.
The hard part was the fear that I still had with regard to progression of my MS after I'd had her, and we actually were blessed to go back to South Africa when she was 3 months old.
Yeah.
And on the journey back, it was like September, which is the time of year that I flared up initially, and the time of year I tended to flare up even in pregnancy with my MS.
Yes.
Spring seems to be the
time.
Season.
Okay.
Coming out of winter, going into spring.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard because I was like mixed feeding her, but I didn't want to have the medication in me and breastfeed her.
Yeah.
So I just made the decision to stop breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So that I could go back on the meds because I was scared.
Yeah.
Of progression, because that's what I was still believing at the time.
That would happen.
Yeah, and I was still like leaving it up to external forces to protect me rather than myself.
Okay. So when did the flip change? When did you kind of step away from someone else is responsible for my body to I'm responsible for my body?
That Overcoming MS retreat was the start.
Was there something a practitioner said, or was there some moment that you remember?
I think it was when the CCSVI jugular blood flow in the jugular, coming out of the jugular vein thing failed. And then I was like instigated into following this lifestyle of whole food, plant-based diet and being much more vigilant with mindfulness and yoga and all that stuff. And the personal development I was doing really was a catalyst.
Yeah.
For me.
So,
and then once I took on that in my headspace, then people would come into my world that, you know, shone lights on the next tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I'm hearing is that you actually, what the actual ailment was getting you to do was to be more present.
Yeah.
And to learn how to maintain presence.
And, yeah, stress levels.
Yeah, because you need to be able to figure out what is causing the stress.
Yeah.
And the only place you can figure that out is in the now moment.
Yeah.
Because if you're already in the future, you're stressed.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're in the past, you're stressed.
Yeah.
So the only place you can really be is in the now moment. So,
Yeah.
so MS is teaching you to be present.
Yeah.
Would that be true?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. And so when you started to make that your priority, that's when all of the different tools you were going to need started to become available in your awareness. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, they'd come and show up.
They'd just show up and you'd be like, oh, I want to go do that. Or
Yeah, absolutely.
I might need to know about that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of those things was coming to a Reiki 1 class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, we moved up here.
Yeah.
Because we wanted a tree change for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, get out of the city, and suburbia, and come up here. Like, we came up here for a holiday. We were looking at rural Victoria, and then came up here for a holiday and decided, oh no, Sunshine Coast is calling.
Sunshine Coast is just calling.
And so
Beautiful.
Yeah, we got here, and then, yeah, like you said, the Reiki called me.
Yeah, interesting.
And you know what's interesting is I find out once I go back down to Melbourne after doing Reiki 1 and 2,
Yeah.
my godmother and my mum's best friend both knew Reiki from when I was a kid.
From when you were a kid.
But they never said anything.
Yeah, well, because you used to be weird if you said that you did Reiki.
Yeah.
Do you know, most people didn't know what you were talking about, so I can understand that.
Yeah. I'd be like doing like Reiki on all my family, my nana, you name it.
Yeah.
And like my godmother's come to visit at my nana's house, and she lived around the corner. And she's like, oh, I know, I do Reiki. Like, I've been doing it for years. I'm like, why did I never know?
Well, what's lovely is that you, by being open with that, then probably were a permission slip for them to be a bit more open about, this is something that they do.
Yeah. Because I was doing Reiki on my cousin's dog. And because I did pet sitting at the time early on. Yeah. And I think actually it was the pet sitting that made me think I need to come and see Nat and learn Reiki, because my daughter and I put our healing hands on a puppy that we were looking after because it like jarred its leg jumping up for a ball or something. Oh. And then it was fine. I was like, there's something in this.
Yeah.
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 I need to learn more. And it just reminded me of that, actually, thinking about the dog.
Yeah. And my memory of your training was that you were very animal orientated.
Oh, very.
You know, like straight away drawn to animal card decks, and you would tend to be able to connect with animal spirits that might be connected to people, and and help, you know, cross those spirits over and clear energies, and like you have a particular knack or talent, I would say, and it definitely has to do with the animal kingdom. In it. So where was it that you sort of thought, oh, because I'm assuming you initially were using it just for you.
Yes.
Just
I spent hours. I spent hours just lying on the bed, connecting with my body, breathing, like putting my hands on parts of my body. But it didn't take long for me to go, I need to do Reiki 2 because I need to do distance healings for people. Because I was very much like, I'd started writing a book, which never got finished, but it's, you know, it still might happen. It was actually a healing tool, I feel, because it allowed me to go and look back at a lot of stuff and get aha moments about my life that helped me to progress with the Reiki and my own healing journey. I did a lot of, I really wanted to work on people via distance at the time. I still do.
Yeah, you do, So you ended up learning level 2, which in our lineage we learn a lot in a level 2 class. It's a huge class, and there's lots to go home and practice and play with.
Yeah, and go back down to Melbourne and end up like clearing people's houses for them.
Yeah.
Clearing my parents' house
clearing
furnitures and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and realizing that there is a lot of other energies present in a room that we can't see with our eyes, but we can feel with our nervous systems.
Yes, and that's, for me, nervous system is very sensitive.
Right.
You know what, in saying that, I remember when I was small, my great nana, her house was in Moonee Ponds, and it was like this old dark house in Moonee Ponds in this sort of inner city Melbourne.
Yep.
And I'd always get the heebie-jeebies going there. And I'd cry. My mum said I'd cry every time we went to her house.
Yeah.
So I think I was sensitive back then. I'm pretty sure.
Well, you know, if MS is related to your nervous system and the gift is that they need you to be in the present, then it makes sense that you've always been sensitive. Yeah. And then it's just learning what to do with that sensitivity to turn it into a superpower rather than a disability. Yeah. You know, like this is one of the things that I'm always interested in having an understanding around is that these things that everyone says are so bad and are the wrong way of being. Yeah. What if they, at some level, are actually, once you figure out what they're trying to show you, what if it can lead to you uncovering your superpower?
Like, well, I had a Reiki session with one of my yoga teachers, Kate, and she was very intuitive in that respect, and she could see like my childhood.
Yeah.
And she could see all of that sensitivity, and the MS numbness was me numbing out from what I could do because I didn't know what to do with it.
Didn't know how. Yeah. Because you're not taught. Yeah. You don't know.
I didn't know what to do with
that
my nervous
system response. Yeah. You don't realise it's because you can pick up on a ghost in a room or that someone else might be angry in that space. Yeah. You don't know because we're not taught to pay attention to that as being another way of relating to our reality.
Yeah. And then I worked in roles in my life that are customer service based, and it was particularly, I noticed when I was working in the city of Melbourne around a lot of people. One job was I was a bank teller in Collins Street on the upper end, and there was this one lady who used to come and cash advance $20 every day. That when I was in that job every single day, I just felt so heavy. It was like a cartoon, you know, the weight on your shoulders, walking to the train station every day, and I could not move. It felt like I was dragging the world behind me every single day.
Yeah.
I was like, Friday night came, we were down the pub, and I was like banging a cigarette off someone. I don't smoke.
Yeah.
And drinking a glass of red wine because I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that becomes the tool when you get to that stage of absolute hopelessness, helplessness.
Yeah.
Smoke and drink.
Yeah.
It's because it's like when all else fails, people reach for that because they don't actually know how to deal with what they're going through.
If my parents watch this, they'll be like, what?
I know. Confessions on the couch. Join us next week for our second part of this episode with Robyn Ellis. The content found within these podcasts are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Nothing on this website is intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any physical or medical conditions. If you have any physical or medical conditions, you should seek the advice of your medical professional immediately.